once someone creates a business flow that aligns with their birth chart, or when they choose a career by using their birth charts, as I did in the past, that brings fulfillment. And have you ever felt like there is a deeper pattern behind who you really are? Something written in the sky, can explain it or not? Well, from my personal experience as a former scientist and a current alchemist, what I can tell is yes. And I want to admit here, when I was studying science, I was ignorant to the things that I wasn't able to see. So I remember myself judging astrology, energy healing, or every single thing that I wasn't able to see back then. And now that I'm building a career around. So how did it happen? How I changed my mind about what astrology really is and what energy healing really is, or how they can really help. Because from my personal experience, what I have to tell, well, I was in a bad place physically, emotionally, and experience-wise as well. So what happened back then was simply I had to try something to be able to move my finger, because I wasn't able to move. I wasn't able to, live a normal life. So I had to say yes to something out of what I haven't tried. And I tried energy healing, and it made me think, oh, it must be placebo, but I should have learned what it really is. So I gave it a shot, another one, and finally, what I was convinced was it was not placebo. So in the next step, I had a friend who is not into spiritual things at all, and she just booked a session with an astrologer, and she came and told me that, I just had that weird session with someone, and I don't know what it really is, but it was impressive, and she told me things about me no one else could ever know. So it was a challenge, and challenge accepted. So I booked a session, and I paid a good amount of money back then. And it was very interesting. What happened with my friend happened with me as well. She talked to me for almost 2 hours, the astrologer, and told me the deepest, not secrets, but ideas, thoughts that I wouldn't even, think of to share it with someone else. And no one could have ever known that I have such, ideas, thoughts, or internal behaviors. And I was really impressed all of the things what she shared with me about my personality. So then I started searching again to make sure, how could someone that has no idea about who I was could tell me a lot of detailed information just by looking at something like this. So I started digging. As a scientist, I had the curiosity, and I had to prove that it was, again, placebo-ish, or what was the logic behind it. And today, after 8 years of experience in spiritual business and more than 15 years of experience in the spiritual life, I have to tell you, astrology is something that has a logic. Actually, it uses statistics to build a structure, but it also uses this sacred wisdom that we don't know where it comes from. Still, it works very well. And in the consultancies that I give to my clients since 2017, what I've learned is, yes, everything in astrology perfectly works, but how? So we have several cycles, and for example, this is an explanation. It is the statistical document that describes in which year, in which exact date, what type of constellations we had up in the sky, and what type of historical events we experienced. So according to the constellations we have today, we go back to this document and see which of the period of time in the past we had similar constellations, and with these constellations what we experienced here on Earth. So according to today's situations, today's way of living, what this constellation can create. See, it is actually very logic. And the second part of it is when we are looking into a chart, we don't only talk about your sun sign, which we learn actually by your birthday. It is one of the, yes, it's very important, but one of the least important things in a birth chart. It is important, don't get me wrong, but we have a lot of very important things in a birth chart. So we have the ascendant, we have MC. We're going to have an episode, a recording just dedicated to MC. And Chiron, it's about our hidden talents and many other things. So when we dig deep in astrology, what we see is this occult or this sacred knowledge that was inherited from our ancestors are perfectly working, and astrology is here to help us out to give the one a user manual. So as someone who is super complicated as a human being, we really need to use a user manual from time to time, because even for a simple coffee machine or a simple AirPod, they give you a user manual. And you are one of the most complex being or machine or whatever you consider yourself. So, of course, you also have a user manual. And a birth chart helps you to move from where you are to your self-actualized self in the best possible way. So as I started learning astrology in 2015, and since 2017 I slowly started giving consultancies, and what I can tell, I think the chart, the birth chart that I have is my most go-to chart to see if there is something wrong or something that I can sharpen even better. And still, if I want to work on something, I open my birth chart and I can create 8-10 pages of notes just about the subject that I'm working on. So chart has different layers, and we are not only talking about the birth chart here. We have horary astrology and many other different types, or solar returns, transits to make assumptions, and also we have synastry to see if a couple is compatible together. So whatever we are doing, whatever we are trying to improve is actually can be seen through our chart to be able to see the best way to achieve that goal. So in my consultancies, what I do with my clients is if they are not sure what they want to do in life to make a living out of it, to choose a career, and if they have difficulty to maintain with their career because they are not following the aligned process. Because most of the time, many people, many entrepreneurs struggle because they go Instagram, they go TikTok, they do this and that, for marketing purpose, or they create services because they learned that this is the best way. You create a service this way, you do that, you do this to be able to make money. Yes, it is mostly correct, but not for everyone. For me, it doesn't work when I follow the mainstream ways to create a business. So once someone creates a business flow that aligns with their birth chart, or when they choose a career by using their birth charts, as I did in the past, that brings fulfillment and a sense of lightheartedness, because you feel like you are doing what is right for you. You stop questioning if it's the right path for me, or you don't see the struggles as struggles, but you start seeing them as an opportunity to grow. So, choosing a career, building a business, creating services, magnetizing the aligned clients, or activating your power of manifestation is something that you can activate by using your birth chart. So if you enjoyed this video, if you have any questions, or if you want me to dive deep into more about any parts of astrology, just share it in the comments. Much love.